What's up, YouTube? What up, friends and fam? It's your boy Kenny Lucas back at it with another YouTube banger. Today I want to talk about my business, how I got involved in landscaping, my experience when it comes down to it. But hold on. Somebody tell me what Cruz? Is that an electric Santa Cruz or what? Anyways, so my experience with landscaping, my experience with gardening, how I have knowledge about plants, how I'm able to sell jobs, how I'm able to operate my business. It's like, this shit doesn't just happen, it's from my experience, from my past experience, my past life. So anyways, to start right out of the bat, I graduated from high school. I got a job working at Lola Landscape in Franklin, Mass. I was with, I think his name's Adam or some shit. I was with Adam for not long at all, probably, probably not even a week or two. It just like, at the time I was a mess, I was dating a girl that was a mess. I was doing I was like trying to stop smoking weed, but I couldn't stop smoking weed. And my life was just a mess. Like, I didn't have any work. Well, I've always had work ethic. Like, my mind was all fucked up. Like, I was just coming out of high school. I was like kind of sheltered in high school in the fact that I didn't have to pay any of my bills or anything like this. It was like I never had to pay rent, never had to like manage my life, had to grocery shop or anything like that. So once that was all handed to me or, put on my plate, I was like, oh fuck, it was like a panic mode, man. You know what I mean? I didn't know shit. So I had to learn it all on the fly. So that was my first landscaping job, I think. But I'll rewind too. Like, back when I was 6 years old, I remember having a thought like, oh, I want to have a landscape company, because me and my neighborhood friends, we all got together. We're like, yeah, let's do it. We were all coming up with like the names of it. It was me, Dave, Dan, and my brother, and we were just like, coming up with like our initials and putting it into a name. It was fun. Like, I remember thinking like, yeah, I'm really gonna have a landscape company. This is gonna be great. So that's where it all started, man. I think that's where it all started. I've always loved being outdoors, always loved planting shit in my backyard. I remember vividly one time, I don't know, I was 4 or 5. It was like my first experience with dirt and planting like a vegetable in my backyard, and it was just like the most magical feeling ever. I was like, this is so badass. This is where fucking food comes from. I was a little youngin' too. That was cool. I've always worn like work boots growing up too. Like, my parents and everybody else said like I always wore like not the Timberlands, but like the work boots that look like Timberlands. They weren't actually Timberlands though. But they looked like those. I was like obsessed with that type of work boot, just wearing those around when I was younger. So that's where it all started, man. I've always wanted that landscape company ever since I was 6 years old. Kind of transitioned into my mind. Once I started planting stuff, I was like, man, that'd be so cool to have that farm. You know what I mean? So, like, ever since I was 5 or 6, that's when I really wanted to have the farm. I've always had a vision of having a farm, and I believe this is where it's all going. I believe that my vision of having the farm is like outlasting every fucking avenue else ever. So anyway, back to my experience. So Lola Landscape, I was there for a couple weeks, whatever. Did my thing, got arrested a few times, didn't go landscaping for a while. Then once I was back into, I went to a halfway house in Brookline, Massachusetts, or I was in Brighton, Massachusetts, actually. I wound up at a Brighton, Massachusetts halfway house. I got on Craigslist, got myself a gardening job. Lucked out, my first gardening job with Lorcan. The name of his company is Small Gardens 2, T-O-O. And Lorcan's an OG at gardening, man. I was explaining to Phil, I'm like, he's the best gardener there is. Like, in New England, there's not a better gardener in New England, period. Like, period. Like, there's no better gardener in New England, period. The only reason why he's not like famous is because he doesn't want to be. Like, the only reason why you don't know him like that is because he doesn't want to be like that. Like, he wants to stay like small scale, which is fine. You know what I mean? That's what he's happy with. Not everybody wants to explode and be a millionaire or be a billionaire. Like, not everybody wants that. Because, like, I feel like he notices that, like, with all that money comes all that responsibility, and responsibility requires time, effort. You know, not saying he's lazy. I'm just saying that type of life don't make him happy. You know what I mean? Being a millionaire doesn't make everybody happy. So it's cool that he stayed at that level, and he explained to me everything about gardening. Like so his company was based off a no gas powered machines period company. He didn't have, the only gas powered machine he had was his dump truck. He had a 1 ton and that was it. No trailer, no nothing, just wheelbarrows, shovels, rakes, more shovels, edger, rope for the edger. Like no powered machines. I'm saying no snow blower. I mean no leaf blower, nothing like that. Brooms, you know, old school. So we literally did planting and mulching and upkeep. You know what I mean? Planting, mulching, upkeep. That's all we did for gardening, specifically for gardening. Like this type of company really only truly exists in a rich area. You know what I mean? The customers, our customer base are multi-millionaires. They're like rolling in millions of dollars. Like we had one customer, I don't know why we went to them, because they were kind of stingy and I didn't really know why we're there, but I think he said it was like a friend of the family's or something like that. But that was the only customer we ever went to that was not really rich. But I think they were really rich though, but they acted stingy. But I will put it in perspective that our customers were on the level of the Tom Brady's, the Brookline customers that are part of that fucking Brookline club that cost like $500,000 per year just to go play golf. Like that was our customers. And all our customers, we didn't have a route or anything like this, but like, you know, we do a job here, then a job there, but we had like 25 customers that we would service all the time every year without fluctuation. Like there were lifelong customers. Like I've never seen a company that was built this way, and it's like a beautiful thing what he established. And yeah, so we would just work for these 25 different customers, say, and you know, one customer might do more planting than the next, and yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Like we had this one customer where it was kind of like our safe haven. Like they could have had a full-time fucking gardener there if my boss wanted to, but you know what I mean? Like they had like an endless supply of money. I don't know what the budget was per year for that customer, because I never got into money with Lorcan. But yeah, anytime we had downtime, he's like, all right, go to Westcott's. I was like, all right, cool. So I just go to Westcott's and we'd mulch or edge out shit or plant shit. And like Westcott's, we formed like a little nursery in the garage area, like on the driveway. Like I'm talking buku money, like money you haven't even seen. Like money, I haven't had a customer with that type of money that I know of yet. And I've done fucking hundreds of jobs this past year or whatever. Not that I know of, really. I'm sure a lot of these, you know, I've had a couple customers that have some money, but not like Westcott money. Like they own fucking medicine companies and shit. They own like part of Advil or some shit. You know, there's customers, like I started Googling the customers that we used to get, and a lot of them pop up on Wikipedia. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna start putting names out there and whatnot to the internet. I just want to put it in perspective, the type of experience of gardening I have. Like gardening. Like I'm the best fucking gardener there is in Massachusetts, because I was trained by Lorcan, and I was only trained by Lorcan for 4 years. But like he does fine detail of hand pruning, like how you're actually supposed to prune a plant. Is not fucking with the shears and all that shit. It's horrible for the plant at the end of the day. That's why these plants just die out and shit. Because you have landscapers just pruning them, which is fine. You're making a living. I get it. I have a company too. We make a fucking living. That's how we do it. We trim plants, and we don't necessarily go to school for it or do it hand, you know what I mean, hand by hand, because the market doesn't really like that. They like a rush job. And they want the cheapest job possible, but like I know how to garden probably better than anybody else in Massachusetts. when it comes down to it. So gardening reflects trees too. That's why I'm able to like look at a tree and be able to depict it to the customer and be like, all right, you need to trim that, and this. Like, this is a good season to do it because I know it from the gardening side of things. But anyway, so I had that job from, say, 2014 or 2013 to, say, 2017, something like that. I moved to Florida, got a job landscaping at Pink and Green Landscape in fucking Southwest Ranches, Florida, which was a whole different other ball game. Like, huge fucking landscape company. I'm talking 7 or 8 trucks at the time. They've since expanded. I'm pretty sure they're double or triple the size. They probably have 30 trucks now. Impressive job that Luke and Lana have done. I love them for that. They're very motivational for that. So I was there for a year, and I was with my guy now that I have up here that works for me. And yeah, we were on the tree crew. They just threw me on the tree crew because they needed a driver on the tree crew. They needed a white guy on the tree crew to drive. So I was like, whatever, you know, it's $12 an hour, whatever. Man, we worked harder than anywhere I've ever worked in my life. Like, that job was harder than being a roughneck in the oil fields. But being a roughneck in the oil fields, the only thing that made it more difficult was that people are retarded out there and they do shit to get you killed. Like, you know, at Pink and Green, it was more physically taxing than being a fucking roughneck. I'm not even kidding. They like drill it into you down there in South Florida. You wake up, I mean, you go to work at 7:30 and you work until fucking the sun is down. You don't return the truck until the sun is fucking down. That's why in South Florida, it's the fucking breeding ground for fucking landscapers. If you own a landscape company, fucking listen. You need to go down to South Florida to get your fucking workers. Hello? A lot of y'all won't listen to that, though. A lot of y'all would just do your own thing and try to hire people from New England. Dude, I quit hiring people from New England. It's a waste of fucking time. It's a waste of fucking time. It really fucking is. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I will not hire anybody else from New England. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm having a hard time finding a shopper because I haven't brought up a shopper from Florida, you know what I mean, or down south. Like, it literally makes no sense hiring anybody from up here. Up here, people are like, not everybody, but what I find is that there's some of the most ungrateful motherfuckers up here because we're born with fucking everything. We're born with everything. Money at our disposal. Education at our disposal. Down south, you gotta fucking earn that shit. You know what I mean? We're working 12-hour days making $12 an hour. And that's still the same way down there. Like, it doesn't fucking change down there. It's corrupt. Like, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But anyways, that instilled a work ethic in me that I didn't even know before. Before I left to go to South Florida, I was literally making $30 an hour gardening for Lorcan. And I was only doing 8 hours or 10-hour days. So I was making, like, on average, like $250 to $300 a day. Usually it would be like on the 300 mark. And I would bring home like $1,500 a week working 5-6 days. It was great. Down there, I literally make half of what I was making up here, and I was working fucking double. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was putting in double the hours. But the thing is, it trained a fucking warrior in my mind because that was the hardest work I've ever fucking done in my life. And I met the coolest people I've ever met in my fucking life, and we're working together today. And it's a happy fucking ending. And we're making that money. But you guys won't listen to me because I'm just some motherfucking YouTuber and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I ain't blowing fucking smoke up your ass, I can tell you that much. But whatever. If you don't want to believe me, watch me. That's all I say. Watch me. Watch me, motherfucker. But yeah, that's pretty much my experience with landscaping. Other than that, I used to do moving and storage, and I used to sell a lot of blow. I'm just kidding. I didn't sell drugs. But yeah, that's pretty much it for landscaping experience. Maybe I'll touch base again on that, but I have a lot of moving and storage experience, a lot of truck driving experience. I did spend some time on the farm in North Dakota for about a month, which that was some of the most peaceful time. I worked harder out there than anywhere else I've ever worked, like longer. A lot of it was just driving though, and it was just so peaceful out there in the fucking fields of North Dakota, the wheat fields. The roads out there are fucking horrendous though. that made me the best truck driver ever, dude. Like I can whip an 18-wheeler no fucking problem, because I've driven out there in the roads of North Dakota. That's where I learned. I taught myself how to shift out there. Because once I got my CDL, I pretty much got, like, you know, grandfathered in. Like, they were supposed to do the shift test for me. Like, I was supposed to take the road test with a 18 speed. And at the time, I don't think I would have passed the test with an 18 speed. I was that bad at fucking shifting. I maybe would have passed it, but I had barely any experience shifting. I just learned fucking a couple weeks ago prior. And I didn't spend any time behind the wheel in the big rig shifting, only behind a car. You know what I mean? I only drove a big rig like one time with the shifter. I had to pay something like $300 for a fucking hour lesson. It was fucking ridiculous. But yeah, so God granted me access to the CDL with the shifter, and then after that, I couldn't find a job, and then I went to North Dakota where they fucking hire anybody, which was great. And I had the time of my life up there. What a great experience. I feel like, you know, if you're just staying in where you're at, especially if you're from Massachusetts, but, you know, that's just my opinion. But if you just stay where you're at and you're complaining where you're at, get the fuck out of where you're at. Go do something about it. Get the fuck out of where you're at, man. Like, why are you staying where you're at? If you're not extremely stoked about waking up in the morning and you're complaining about where you're at, go fucking change that. It's so easy to change in this country. Like, go to North Dakota, experience that. Go to Texas, experience that. Go to fucking Wyoming, experience that. Wyoming during the summertime, there's plenty of fucking truck driving jobs. And guess what? In Wyoming, North Dakota, in the farm fields, you can drive a truck without no fucking CDL. Like, straight up, you can drive a truck out there on the farm without no CDL, 18-wheeler, 100,000-pound type shit, like, even more serious than the shit you see on the road out here. You'll come back home and call fucking people from New England a bunch of pussies because of how they live out there on the farms. They're hard ass. They're hard ass. They're badass. And I feel like everybody needs to go out there to experience that. If you don't want to, it means you're just a pussy, man. Get out there and go experience life. Love you guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.